Yes, and the clock starts now. Well, I've been a performing artist for 32 seasons, and basically that's a lot longer than most ballerinas. Usually, ballerinas retire after 10, 15, at the most 20 years of professional dancing. So you could say that just because I've been dancing for 32 years, I've been retired for the last 2 years now, I've already broken the box. But to give you an idea of what I have to do in order to break the box, I'd like to ask all of you, after that wonderful, delicious lunch, to stand up. Yes? And we'll just try to follow very, very simple instructions. Yes? Okay? We are going to rotate our left leg so that all 5 toes of our left foot is facing the left. Okay? And I'm sure Lucia will have an easy time doing this. Put your right heel in front of the big toe of your left foot. Okay. To check that you are doing the right thing, if you look down, your feet should show you a capital letter L. So far, so good? Yeah? Is it a capital letter L? Okay. Now comes the hard part. While keeping your back straight and your shoulders down and your chin up and your stomach in, rotate your right leg so that the little toe of your right foot touches your left heel. What? Yeah? Okay. Are you comfortable? No? We're not yet done. Bend your knees and straighten them. Okay, give yourselves a great hand. Thank you for being such game audiences. What you just did or tried to do is 5th position in classical ballet. In classical ballet, we have 5 basic positions. 1st position, 2nd position, 3rd position, 4th position, and 5th position. Now, 5th position is your basic stance in classical ballet. You'll notice that in 5th position, and in all the positions of ballet, my knees are facing the side. This is how we walk, this is how we run, and this is how we jump and land and turn in classical ballet. Now, you may ask why we do this. Well, that's because if my legs did not employ 90-degree turnout in either directions, and my knees are facing the front, like, you know, how normal people stand and walk and jump. When I try to lift my leg to the side, even with 32 years of professional dancing behind me, I am not able to lift my leg higher than 90 degrees. Now look what happens when I employ turning out, and my knees are now facing the side. I am now able to lift my leg higher. Yeah? Okay, let's try that now. Everybody stand up. No? Okay, it might not be covered by your insurance, so let's not. Anyway, by just employing the formula for turning out, I immediately increased the range of motion of my leg in the hip socket. And that's why classical ballet dancers have to train for 8-10 hours a day, turning out so that we are comfortable standing in 5th position. Now, everybody knows what a line is, yes? It's the distance between 2 points. Now, ballet dancers are moving sculptures on stage. If I, for example, strike a turned out position and point my leg to the back, and then lift it in what we call the classic first arabesque, you will see, if you imagine that there's a point here, a point here, a point here, point, everywhere a point, You will see that my body in first arabesque creates several different lines in space. Now what happens when, for example, just maybe my elbow is bent a little bit or my wrist is dropped? What happens to that line? It doesn't flow, you know. So basically that's what we do. We need to create harmonious lines in space. So see what happens if we turn in. I'm not able to create that line. And then I sickle my foot and maybe bring my shoulders up. It's just not a harmonious line. So by using turning out to give me greater range of movement, I need to create a proper line in space with my body. So that's just an example of straight and diagonal lines. And so all these lines present a work of art on stage. Now, what did I do to get to be able to dance for 32 years? Well, let's see. It started with what I call my 8 counts for breaking the box. It started with my first decision when I was 15 years old to become a professional ballerina. All I wanted to do was dance the classical ballets once. I wanted to do a Swan Lake, I wanted to do a Giselle, I wanted to do a Sleeping Beauty, Aurora. I wanted that. And so I made a decision, I made a list of my goals, and I committed to them. All the decisions that I made after that initial commitment have brought me to where I am today, a retired professional ballerina. Okay, so basically we just need to do that, decide and commit to whatever we want to achieve. Number 2, see, I have this story about my 8 counts. My father, when I said that I wanted to become a ballerina when I grow up, said, "What? You're going to become a ballerina and only learn how to count to 8 for the rest of your life?" So I said, "Well, yes, okay, Dad, but you know, ballerinas do more than just count to 8. That's why I formulated my 8 counts, because I'd like to honor my dad there. I've been working hard, of course, as a dancer. I mean, in order to be comfortable in 5th position, which you tried earlier, that needs a lot of training, a lot of sweat. No pain, no gain. Pushing your body, which is your instrument for your art, to the limits of what it can do. Gaining strength. It's not a wonder that performing artists are called sometimes performing athletes, dancers especially. Now that I've been teaching for the last 2 years, I would rather have a mediocre, talented, gifted student, but someone who's there, who's committed and who attends all the lessons and works hard, rather than have a very, very gifted student but is absent most of the time. That's what I define as working hard. Is talent trumps, hard work trumps talent when talent does not work hard. My 3rd count is, of course, you need to focus and get good at it. Why do you need to focus and get good at it? Because in order to be happy doing what you do, there has to be a certain amount of comfort. There has to be a certain amount of easy peasy to it. And in order to be comfortable in doing, say, 5th position, that's why you have to strengthen everything and feel like it comes naturally. For a while, standing in 5th position and dancing Swan Lake came very naturally to my body. Of course, that was like maybe 10, 15 years ago. Number 4, honor your emotions and acknowledge your fears. Now, just before coming on stage, I was shaking. I was really nervous. And I think that's good. It's good when you are nervous about something, when you're apprehensive about something, when you're fearful about something, because that means that you care, but what happens on stage will matter to you and to the audience. It is in fact when you stop feeling emotional, when you stop feeling, say, the love, or stop feeling the nerves, that's when you should start to get worried. Really, because that means that you're becoming apathetic to what you're doing, and that puts you in a very, very scary spot. It means that you don't like what you're doing anymore. 5, prepare well. You know, there's a step in ballet called plie, and the lower you bend your knees, the higher you are able to jump. That's your preparation. When we prepare well, we are able to accomplish our goals. We are able to get the work done. We are able to jump higher. So the better prepared we are, the better the outcome. Usually that is the case. Preparing well doesn't, for ballet dancers, means warming up and getting into the focus of the performance. But basically, it really means warming up. We can't just hop on stage and perform. Now, the ironic thing about it is, no matter how perfect your performance was the day before, the night before, when a ballet dancer wakes up the next morning, he or she has to start from the first basic position, of first position. There is no cutting, pasting, or closing the program and then starting from where you stopped the night before. No. Muscles need to remember and be reminded every day of what you're supposed to do. My number 6 is to do something crazy. I've done many crazy things on stage and off, but I think the craziest thing I did was agree to dance Swan Lake in Cuba with 4 days preparation. Mind you, that Swan Lake was the worst Swan Lake that I had ever done in my life. It was my first Swan Lake, it was also the worst. But I was given that opportunity. A Brazilian ballerina injured herself. There was no one to dance Swan Lake. I had never danced Swan Lake before. They asked me, Lisa, will you do it? I said, okay, give me a partner, give me the music, give me the teacher. I'll try my best. And mind you, that something crazy happened again 23 years ago when I left my position as principal ballerina of Philippine Ballet Theater to put up my own ballet company, Ballet Manila. And we're in our 23rd year. I guess it's pretty obvious that I gave myself a deadline when my father first told me, what are you going to do, become a ballerina and count 8 only for the rest of your life? I said, look, Dad, give me 2 years to make it as a ballet dancer. If I don't make it after 2 years, then I will stop and go to university and become the accountant that you want me to become. I'm so glad I made it in 2 years. Okay? But anyway, the hardest decision that you will have to make is to decide on whether to work harder or to quit, reboot, and make a completely new decision and make a completely new commitment. So, I don't know what would have happened to me if I didn't make it in 2 years. So glad I did. Number 8, of course, is you serve. You serve yourself at times, but you serve others more often. And it is in serving others that you actually make your dream meaningful to them. And once your dream is meaningful to other people, then you have achieved it. So I hope my 8 counts will help you achieve your dreams. Find your 8 counts, break the box. I was Asian, short, bow-legged, with ugly feet, and not very long lines. But I made it in a very Western cultured profession. And I did that by applying my 8 counts and committing to the dream. Find your 8 counts and commit to your dream. Thank you.